chance for Parma, saved by Niemi, but Balbo scores on the rebound. Colin Hendry's won it, Rob Wallace! Rob Wallace equalises for Rangers! What a miss, Gordon Jury. He doesn't need us to tell him. Saved by Niemi! Absolutely superb!
The key moments of an absorbing 90 minutes at Ibrox 2 weeks ago, which have set up today's lunchtime decider. Good afternoon to you. Glad you're able to organise your day to join us for live coverage of the big match. Parma against Rangers, live from Italy with a place in the last 8 of the UEFA Cup at stake. Ali McCoist is with me. Ali, how tough is this one?
This will be the toughest, I think. I mean, one each at home wasn't a bad result. I felt the first half Rangers were overrun. Second half they came right into the game, acquitted themselves very well and could have won it and then could have lost it. So it's a lot of people don't give them much of a chance. If I was a betting man, Dougie,
which you aren't,
my money would be on Parma, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, and yet that second half performance must give Rangers hope, because Parma did look a little bit rattled when they stepped up the pace.
They definitely stepped up the pace and they got at them, got behind them, and of course Gordon had the chance to win the game. It's going to be. I'm really looking forward to the game. I think Parma are one of the best sides in Europe. I think they're almost invincible at home. They're a great side at home, as recent results have shown. And I mean, that beats AC Milan 4-0 at home must be a good team.
Sure.
But I mean, Rangers will go there with a little bit of hope. You know, they've got to score. That's the most important thing. If they don't score, they're out. And with that in mind, you know, they'll have to attack at certain points of the game. But I'm looking forward to it. It's not beyond them, but it's going to be very difficult.
It is. It's a huge challenge. Let's take a look at the two-team lineups then. And from the Rangers' point of view, Jury in, Kanchelskis out. I don't think that's any great surprise. Perhaps a surprise, Ali, on the Parma side is that there's no Hernan Crespo. And Balbo, who scored at Ibrox, retains his place. Yeah,
they've got a fair replacement in Balbo. I'm personally delighted to see Gordon Jury back in the team, because he's worked hard. He's had a lot of problems with injury this year. He had a bad ankle and he's gastrocnemius, which is his calf muscle to you and I, Dougie. And he's worked heck of a hard. He's been in the gym. You know, he's doing a lot of running, and it's good to see him back. And I think with him up front, he's very direct. I get tired watching him sometimes, and I think, you know, Wallace is on fire. He's always liable to get a goal. You know, as I said earlier, it's going to be difficult for Rangers, but they've got players that can score goals. It's a bonus that Parma are missing Crespo. At the same time, I mean, they're bringing in a lad like Balbo. It's not too bad, is it? What a replacement that is.
Yeah, it's a very, very good-looking Parma side. Ian Ferguson's got an important role, because he'll be man for man in Veron again, which he did very well at Ibrox, although having said that, Veron still played the pass-through for the goal, didn't he?
Veron's a wonderful player, and I just hope that Fergus, the local newspapers or this morning's newspapers, faxed out to him. Because I think it's been a bit of a wind-up, you know, and asking if it was the right Fergus from Manchester United, which will be right up Ian Ferguson street, I would imagine.
Yeah. We don't and you need to wind Fergie up,
You do need to get him up. You do need to get him up for these occasions, you know. I was just going to say, I better make my apologies now for all the people I just about said to write in and complain, because I will be calling us, and them. So I make no apology for the fact.
Well, it's a Scottish team in Europe, and more than ever before, we need all the Scottish teams to do well because of the coefficient situation.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been pretty good. I mean, Rangers had a fantastic result in the previous round. You know, and one each at home against one of the top teams in Europe's a good result, and you never know what's going to happen today.
Yeah, tricky one, because they've got to score, as you say, but at the same time they've got to keep it fairly tight too, haven't they? I mean, they'd love to score late on, wouldn't they? Sometimes you can score too early in these situations.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is that they don't lose a goal early. It's vital. I think Henry and Amoruso were colossal against Leverkusen. I thought they were out of this world, and I think they're going to have to be on top of their game today. They're going to have to defend well. As I've already said, this team look, you know, pretty invincible at home. They score goals for fun. But if Rangers, you know, keep it tight, they don't want to lose anything at all. And you never know, the more the game goes on, you know, the more they can come into the game, and probably, well, hopefully, maybe Wallace or Van Bronckhorst even got an end of a chance and score.
Does it worry you that Rangers' form recently, in fact since the first leg, really hasn't been all that impressive?
It's strange. I mean, the whole thing, I mean, it's bizarre. Some of the results have been inexplicable. When you look at Rangers beating St Johnstone 7-0, you know, St Johnstone beating Celtic beating Rangers 5-1, it's just difficult. It's impossible to weigh everything up. I think Rangers' form, being honest, has dipped a little bit in recent weeks. Having said that, they've still won the only trophy that's been up for grabs so far domestically, and they'll be quite happy with that.
Yeah. Who has impression in the Italian team particularly?
The men up front. I do like Chiesa, Veron obviously, and Crespo and Balbo. I mean, they're genuine. They're a real goal-scoring threat. And I thought, you know, even the goal that Parma scored over there, it was a great goal because he followed the finish in. He saw the striker go through. Niemi made a great save. but you know, he kept his run going and tapped the ball. And I was impressed with their forward play. They're very sharp, they're direct, and you've got to be on your toes, because if you lose concentration for a split second, these guys will punish you, because they're the best in the business.
Yeah, as is their defence. They've only conceded 5 goals in Serie A, which is a fair recommendation. Benarivo, I thought, was terrific at Ibrox as well. Lilian Thuram we know all about as well. I mean, they're very, very solid at the back.
Well, these guys are international World Cup players. I mean, they don't come any better. These guys are the best players in the world. It's as simple as that. But these are the games you do want to play, and you love playing in these games. I mean, the European scene itself is the stage you do want to play. And of course, they don't come any bigger games than this. So the Rangers boys will certainly be up for it. And I believe they'll have taken a wonderful support over. I mean, the buses and the planes will be going over there. And I think they'll certainly be wanting to enjoy themselves. And the only way to do that is get a good result.
OK, well, time for the talking to stop, I think. Let's head out to Parma then. And of course, yesterday was a very cold day. The pitch was covered overnight. It looks bright, but I'm sure cold again today. As you say, Ali, 3,000 Rangers fans expected to make the journey. Only 8,000 Italians had bought tickets up until yesterday, but that still looks a fairly packed crowd, certainly in there among the Rangers fans who have made the journey, hoping for what would certainly be one of the most notable Rangers victories ever in European competition. Let's join our match commentators then in the Stadio Tardini, Gordon Smith and Rob McLean.
Thanks, Dougie, and Ali, welcome to the Ennio Tardini Stadium. As you said, Dougie, 3,000 Rangers supporters have travelled across to Italy and are getting themselves warmed up on what is a sunny Tuesday afternoon, but a very chilly one in northern Italy. This Rangers' 30th game of the season and their biggest so far. Very proud Rangers of an unbeaten run in Europe, stretching now to 9 games, including the 1-1 draw with Parma at Ibrox a couple of weeks back. But can Rangers make it the perfect 10? Huge challenge for them against Parma, who haven't lost at home in European competition for 5 years, and since the first leg of this tie they've won 3 games out of 3, and they're up to joint second in Serie A. In that time they've beaten Milan at home by 4-0 here. They beat Udinese 3-2 in the Italian Cup. And on Saturday they went to Genoa and beat Sampdoria by 2-0. Rangers have Andrei Kanchelskis on the bench. He's said to be suffering from a heavy cold, but Dick Advocaat had to reshuffle anyway to play 2 up front, with Givars ineligible and Johansson injured. Gordon Jury makes his first start for Rangers for 4 months, and as Dick Advocaat told us yesterday, Ian Ferguson brought in as anchorman in the midfield. His job will be to pick up the Parma playmaker, Juan Veron. And Parma have the luxury of being able to leave out one Argentinian striker, Hernan Crespo, who scored 10 goals in his last 12 games, and bring in the Argentinian veteran Abel Balbo, the 32-year-old, who of course scored the opening goal at Ibrox 2 weeks ago. So he'll play alongside Enrico Chiesa, £10 million worth of him, and Antonio Benarivo, the captain, has recovered from injury, and Benarivo will play in his traditional position on the left side of the middle 4. Only once have Rangers drawn at Ibrox in a European tie and gone on to make progress in the competition. And one Gordon Smith was playing on that occasion against PSV Eindhoven. Gordon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rob. That was a long time ago, I have to admit. It was 20 years ago, but it nevertheless was it was a great result for us. It was a great performance, and I think Rangers are going to have to produce that sort of performance today. I think that unusually there will be underdogs for this match, there's no doubt, and they might thrive on that. Everyone expects them to go out, but they'll work very hard today. A star-studded lineup from Parma, but Rangers have everything to play for.
Rangers will start the match. These opening stages crucial, so important that Rangers get off to a good start, acquire some confidence early on. They had a very difficult first half in the first leg of this tie at Ibrox against Parma, when you got the feeling they stood back a bit and gave the Italian side a bit too much respect. But they are very much on form, Parma. Will have to be watched very closely, and they do of course possess such an incredible defensive record. They didn't lose a goal in their first 5 games of the season in Serie A, with Lilian Thuram, of course, the Frenchman, playing such a key role at the back. And in their 12 league games thus far, they've only conceded 5 goals. Credit to Gianluigi Buffon, the 20-year-old goalkeeper, and to the well-organised defence in front of him. Sensini is playing the central role in the back three this afternoon, with Lilian Thuram on the right, and on the left side of the defence is Fabio Cannavaro, such a star for Italy in the World Cup finals in France. Foul there by Sergio Porini on Juan Veron. Here he is with the ball at his feet, capable of great things. £12.5 million he cost from Sampdoria. Bogosian probing at the centre of the Rangers defence, cleared by Henry. Chased by Gordon Jury, back from Cannavaro, and quickly out from Buffon at age 20. Second choice to Angelo Peruzzi as far as the Italian national team goes. That's from Newman. Alberts trying to put some pressure on Thuram, looked so calm and composed in the first game at Ibrox in the first half, but began to creak a little bit when Gabriel Amato came on in the second half and started to put some physical pressure on.
There's Ian Ferguson already getting very, very close to Veron. He really is a playmaker, and you have to do that sort of role on him. You can't afford them to get space and allow him the time to pick off the passes, because he's excellent at it. Rangers haven't been trying to play deep. I thought they might play the game quite deep. It looks as if they're going to make an open match of it and try and push up and play against Parma and maybe try and create a few openings themselves.
Here's Ian Ferguson. Will look to play a constructive part in the midfield as well as merely hemming down Veron. Henry to Porini. Sergio Porini, who's missed only one game for Rangers all season, virtually ever present in the right back position, but for once not with Andrei Kanchelskis up the touchline from him. Kanchelskis on the bench, and Gordon Jury in the side to assist Rod Wallace up front. That's a free kick against Ian Ferguson. He pushed over Veron, and the Norwegian referee, Mr. Hauge, quickly across. Here's Benarivo, forced back onto the right foot by Porini. Amoruso's header, dropping for Alberts, a good touch. Ahead of him is Van Bronckhorst. Wallace on the left, Jury streaking through the middle. That's for Jury. It's a good run from Gordon Jury, and good goalkeeping from Buffon. Well read, good handling, but that was promising from Rangers.
Yeah, it was very good goalkeeping, because it was a great move from Rangers. Started with Alberts, nice little pass through. Van Bronckhorst making the bust. Here's Chiesa for Parma. Across comes Henry, and that was a well-timed intervention from Colin Henry, because Enrico Chiesa had found some room on the right-hand side as we look again at Buffon's save to deny Jury. Very brave goalkeeping, but Chiesa lost control there. That's what helped Rangers and helped Henry to make the challenge.
In from Thuram, out comes Niemi. This could be dangerous, and Antti Niemi was happy to see Bogosian's shot coming straight at him after his punch had gone straight to the Frenchman. So action at both ends in the first 4 minutes, and Niemi will be happy to have got hands to the ball early on, and only his 11th game of the season for Rangers. Lionel Charbonnier was very much first choice, but with the Frenchman missing for the rest of the season, a chance for Niemi to stake his claim. Kept in by Jury. Threaded through for Arthur Newman. Beyond the far post, Buffon thought about going for it, then left it. Collected by Barry Ferguson. Here's Porini. And disappointing ball into the middle. Possession given away. And I think some words from the bench to Porini about what he might have done with that.
Yeah, petered out a bit that move, but it was a great run before from Gordon Jury. Just saw him get behind Thuram there. That's not an easy thing to do, but if Gordon Jury can use all his experience there and get onto balls like that and chase him into corners, then it'll be a good outlet for Rangers.
Here's Diego Fuser. Didn't play in the first game at Ibrox. Surprisingly sold by Lazio in the summer. He'd been a fixture there for a number of seasons. In on the right side of midfield. Free kick. More defending to do for Rangers with 5.5 minutes of the match gone. Everyone bar Wallace and Jury back. In from Fuser. And what a chance that was for Balbo. Tugged the shot wide.
That was bad defending by Rangers, but it's a real let-off there because they all went to the first ball. They're all rooted to the spot. Balbo's peeled away at the back post away from Broncos. And look at that, that's a fairly easy chance. Maybe if he takes a touch, but you can see him gets in there. That's bad marking. Actually, all ball watching there, the first man winning it. A little flick onto the back post.
There's an early warning for Rangers. Balbo, who scored the first goal at Ibrox 2 weeks ago, and he had a real chance there. Now Barry Ferguson. Back goes Benarivo. Ferguson looking to play that off into the corner. Kick didn't quite come off. Cannavaro to Veron. That's a neat touch by Chiesa. Barry Ferguson for Rod Wallace. Across comes Thuram. Knocked away by Buffon. Good direct play from Rangers. Colin Hendry slipped, but the ball out of play before Chiesa can get there.
Yeah, Rangers are causing a bit of problems with the good direct running of both Wallace and Jury, getting in behind defenders, troubling them a bit with their pace. Sansini's the sweeper, but on 2 or 3 occasions already I've seen that he wants to stay centrally really, and if Rangers can knock diagonal balls in and the runs are timed properly, they might just get in behind the Italian defence.
Newman probing at the Parma defence there, easily fielded by Sensini, and all the way back from Amoruso to Antiniemi. Amoruso with a key role for Rangers. He's produced his best football this season when he's been most under pressure and he's had least time to think about things. Gordon Jury offside. So important for Rangers, Gordon, that Hendry and Amoruso get it absolutely right in central defence.
Yeah, that is important. I mean, we've already seen there an opportunity. Balbo missed it, which from Rangers' point of view was excellent, but they can't afford to allow them too many of those sort of situations because they're proven strikers. Balbo and both Chiesa score a lot of goals, and remember, the surprise today was that Crespo was left out.
Veron away from Ian Ferguson. Here's Chiesa trying to get the ball back to Veron, intercepted by Hendry. Good defending. Sensini has it, robbed by Wallace. Now Alberts, Van Bronckhorst sprinting through the middle. That's for Jury, first time trying to link up with Van Bronckhorst. He'd stopped his run. George Alberts was screaming for it on the far side. Rangers have made a promising start, and at times all it's been lacking is the final ball. Wallace and Alberts. Rod Wallace again, but the whistle's gone for a free kick. Eight and a half minutes gone. Parma 0, Rangers 0. 1-1 overall. Bogosian, watched closely by Amoruso and Hendry. Back to Niemi. Antiniemi chose to strike that first time, left-footed. Maybe could have taken a touch there before making a more effective clearance.
Yeah, I thought he might. He put under a little bit of pressure with the ball from Colin Hendry, but I thought he should have taken a touch first.
In from Chiesa, it's Balbo. The header dipping over the crossbar. And we hear news from Pittodrie that Aberdeen manager Alec Miller has left the club by mutual consent with the board. So the announcement's just been made, so Aberdeen minus a manager after a dire run of results, and Alec Miller has been just over a year in the job. We'll hear more about that one later on. Here it's Parma 0, Rangers 0. BBC Scotland Sport bringing you the match live from the Ennio Tardini Stadium. Amoruso's header, composed and confident, decisive. From Niemi to Newman. Rod Wallace making a run in behind Thuram. The ball didn't get that far. Now Fuser. Sensini, the Argentinian, 43 times capped. Long ball for Veron. Got the nearest of touches to it. That's good defending from Amoruso. He's so keen to impress in his homeland. He's been talked about in terms of a move to Juventus. That has undoubtedly flattered him. He even be mentioned in the same breath as the great Italian side, and he's made a good start here. The Parma skipper, Benarivo. That's for Veron. Watched closely by Pini and Barry Ferguson. Baggio beaten by Van Bronckhorst in the tackle. One back by Cannavaro. Veron's pass came off Barry Ferguson for the Parma throw.
Balbo allowed to turn. Fabio Cannavaro, a miscue, and time for Arthur Newman to let the ball drop and find Rod Wallace. His head flick for Albert. In came Sensini very quickly and got the ball away. But with each passing minute, Rangers will feel happier as they settle to what is a huge task for them. This Parma team, Rangers we think of as big spenders, but Parma during the summer spent close on £40 million in terms of improving their team, funded by the big dairy producer in Italy, Parmalat. Money no object, and what a team packed with talent they have.
The Rangers are looking pretty calm and composed at times as well. They want to knock the ball about. As I said, they're pushed right up at times. They've been right up to the halfway line. They're relying a lot on Ian Ferguson doing a good job on Veron, keeping the two strikers. They've sacrificed width today with Barry Ferguson playing slightly on the right, but in one. They're trying to get their width through Pini on the right and also Newman on the left, and then get the running of Jury and Wallace into the wide areas. But they've got Ian Ferguson just sitting behind a midfield of three, with Ferguson, Van Bronckhorst and Alberts are sitting in pretty close together. And as I said, sacrificing the sort of wide area. They don't normally do that, because normally Chelsea's would be hugging the touchline.
Veron's free kick, and that was a good challenge by Amoruso and Balbo. Gordon Jury doing good work, holding the ball up, finding Ian Ferguson, now Alberts. Long ball for Rod Wallace, it's a good one too. Good control. Sensini in front of him, Wallace darts to the byline, but he's overrun it. But what was impressive there from Wallace was the first touch, very confident, applauding the pass as well from Alberts. But in the end, he just took it too far.
Yeah, it's such a good pass to the ball, Alberts. Those diagonal balls left to right, and the good runs of Wallace and Jury at times, they'll get on the end of them because he won't find them. And they say just get held up a little bit there. Rod Wallace, unlucky with his touch as well, that took him past Sensini, just overran it for the goal kick.
The game nearly 14 minutes old. No goals. And George Alberts in possession. Tackling back was Veron. It runs for Newman. Arthur Newman doing well. Persistence and skill combined. But the pass failing to find Wallace. That's where Arthur Newman is so effective, when he pushes forward.
It's good determination there, and the unfortunate aspect there was that Rod Wallace wasn't offside. If he'd managed to actually get a control touch on that and maybe get after it, the linesman's flag was down.
Thuram for Balbo. Colin Hendry's header out of play. Hendry had his 33rd birthday yesterday. That was Juan Veron's touch. Outstanding he was for Argentina at the World Cup, and he plays in this position behind the front two for Parma. He's the man they look to pull the strings and supply the ammunition for Chiesa and Balbo, or indeed Crespo when he's getting a game. The Alberts header. Tackling by Newman. Ian Ferguson's pass. George Alberts played it off Thuram. Newman quick with the throw. Gordon Jury lost his footing. It's a potentially difficult surface. Into the box from Veron. Out comes Antiniemi. Time to get there before Balbo. Sergio Pini. In front of him is Barry Ferguson. Infield Ian Ferguson. That's a mistake by Ferguson. Losing out to Bogosian. Now Chiesa. Good run through the middle. Stopped by Henry. It's Dino Baggio. A neat flick infield. It's Chiesa. Good effort from Enrico Chiesa. Got good contact. And that was good goalkeeping from Antiniemi. Got down to it and held it.
Yeah, that's the danger of somebody like Chiesa. Very, very good striker. Didn't have an awful lot of room in there. It was a tight situation. The ball was just played into him first time. He took one touch to control it and fired in a shot, even though he was under severe pressure from defenders tackling.
Good challenge on Thuram by Rod Wallace. He's done very well here. In comes Albert. And a fairly desperate clearance from Cannavaro. Jumping was Van Bronckhorst, but it drops for Veron. And a neat touch for Benarivo. Getting forward at pace. Held up by Chiesa. Good control, good strength as well. Because it was a stiff challenge by Pini, who will have to beware because he has a yellow card in this competition already. Lovely touch there, Gordon, from Balbo. And a good effort from Chiesa. It is Enrico Chiesa again. Breakdown in communication. He was hoping that Dino Baggio was alongside him, but Baggio had stopped his run. And for Rangers, the danger was over.
Good touch, both strikers from Parma. Excellent touch on the ball, excellent strength and control. And we know they're dangerous strikers, so Rangers have done well so far just to hold out in that area. They haven't really given them too many opportunities to show their prowess up front.
Rod Wallace trying to force a corner kick off Sensini. It wouldn't go. And now Thuram. Look at the pace and the athleticism. 2 goals in the World Cup semi-final against Croatia, so he has a fair bit of menace about him going forward, but his key role is in defence, and in the last 2 seasons he's been voted Serie A's top defender.
Superb player, but I thought he fell there on that occasion. I think he lost balance when he's fighting his way through. It's a good touch, good strength, but he just tumbled over because he was trying to change direction while he was running, but the foul was given.
Thuram's pass for Veron. Now Fuser. Veron's found a bit of room. Across comes Amoruso. And that was a good challenge from Lorenzo Amoruso. Read the situation well. And Veron's attempted cross went behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, he just did enough. Amoruso did well just to put him off. They have to pull Benarivo in a little bit on the left-hand side, Parma, because Barry Ferguson's playing more in the centre, milking Chelsea as we know tonight, so it means that Rangers would actually have more of 3 against 2 situations in there unless Benarivo comes right in, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it takes away a little bit from the width he normally gives Parma out on the left-hand side.
Loose pass from Lorenzo Amoruso. Handed possession back to Parma. In from Fuser. That's a neat touch from Chiesa! Held at the second attempt by Antiniemi, got his body behind it, blocked the shot, and then caught the loose ball. That all started from a loose pass out from the back from Lorenzo Amoruso. That's where Rangers have to be so disciplined. When they have the ball, they really want to keep it. Gordon Jury jumping, missed it. Cannavaro to Benarivo. Chiesa knocks the ball in front of Balbo. He's got the pace to get there before Amoruso. Fuser in support. Bogosian there as well. Now Dino Baggio. Benarivo looking for it, left side. He's the target. Baggio's angled ball into the box. The Rangers defended that pretty well. Pini and Henry involved, ushering the ball back to Niemi.
Yeah, it was good covering. Everyone was involved there, and a little nudge from Pini on Benarivo, just enough to put him off and allow Niemi to get the save. But before that, there was a dangerous situation as well, when it was a little, it was good, I suppose it was good striking play, a little nudge on Barry Ferguson at the back post from Chiesa. The referee let him away, but he did enough. And once again, another shot on target.
Free kick given with 20 minutes gone in the first half. Parma 0, Rangers 0. 1-1 it was at Ibrox 2 weeks ago. So a result of 0-0 would mean Parma going through. 1-1 would take the match to extra time. And 2-2, were it to get to 4 goals in this match, would mean Rangers going through on away goals. But a lot of work to be done. Although you'd have to give Rangers good marks for the way they've started this match.
Yeah, they've done well so far. I mean, they've looked dangerous themselves on 1 or 2 occasions, and most of the shots have been restricted from a little bit of a distance from Chiesa, although Balbo, as remember, missed that real good opportunity early on.
Foul given against Dino Baggio there for barging into Barry Ferguson, and Rangers alive to the possibilities of a quick free kick. Arthur Newman, though, has given it away to Bogosian. Won back by Alberts. Did well. Ian Ferguson. Arthur Newman couldn't keep it in.
I think you have to really say that Rangers are looking like a good European side at the moment. We know the strength of Parma. We know they're one of the favourites for the Scudetto and also one of the favourites for this competition. If they were to go through, a lot of people think they'll go on and win it, but at the moment Rangers are matching them in many departments.
And Rangers with a different attitude to Gordon from the one that they showed in the first half of the first leg.
Yeah, I think that Rangers were very tentative. It was obviously coming off the back of the Old Firm result, and maybe a little bit worried about how they would approach the game, but in the second half Rangers were positive. There's Dick Advocat, he looks very positive at the moment. He's getting his team going down there, and since the half-time in the first leg, I think Rangers have been a real match for Parma.
Chiesa showed too much of the ball to Colin Hendry, who made a good clearance. Parma start all over again with Sensini. Back from Fuser. Sensini again. Accurate pass for Benarivo. Sergio Porrini trying to shut him down. And Barry Ferguson doing a good job on Veron as well. Gordon Jury knocked over by Fabio Cannavaro. Free kick. Jury's last start for Rangers was on the 11th of August against PAOK Salonika. So it's been a long time since he was in the starting lineup, 4 months. Just 1 goal so far this season, Jury. And might well have had his second in the first leg of this match, right at the very end. Van Bronckhorst looking for Rod Wallace, cleared by Cannavaro. Here is Jury, fouled surely, a couple of yards outside the area. Thuram the offender, and an interesting set-piece opportunity this for Rangers.
Certainly is. They've got people that can fire them in from this sort of range. Alberto want to hit it. Good work with Gordon Jury there. He does go past Thuram. He was getting on his left side. There was one defender was coming across, but it was an excellent opportunity. Thuram making the foul, and as you said, gives Rangers a great chance here now to fire in a shot, get a shot on target. Albert's shooting power, legendary as we know.
So everyone behind the ball for Parma. Jury and Wallace are in the box. And George Alberts took a couple of deflections. And the whistle has gone for a free kick. Meanwhile, it looks as if Gordon Jury's in trouble. He looks to be in a fair bit of pain. This could be an early blow to Rangers, because Jury has been very prominent in the good start to the match which Rangers have made.
It was actually a poor strike from George Alberts, but it was one of those ones that it could easily have fallen to somebody else in the box, because he hit it low and hard. I don't think it was even on target, but Thuram knocked it there, and there we see Cannavaro the foul on Jury, or the tackle challenge on Jury there, injuring him. He'll have to go off. But as I say, Alberts' free kick was really looking for a deflection in that sort of situation. It certainly wasn't going to cause Buffon any problems.
Instructions from Dick Advocat to Barry Ferguson. But Advocat must be very pleased with the way his team has started this match. If they can hold this sort of form, then it gets more and more encouraging. Well judged by Rod Wallace, although a free kick goes against him for a nudge on Sensini. Rod Wallace, 14 goals this season, and applause from the Rangers supporters as Gordon Jury gets back on the pitch. The Argentinian Sensini to his fellow countryman Veron. The Italian Chiesa. Good run by Benarivo. This could be dangerous for Rangers, and it's Dino Baggio. It was blocked by a combination of Amoruso and Ian Ferguson, with Baggio looking to have a good chance of opening the scoring. In from Fuser, but it's too long. And Rangers have a chance to regroup after Benarivo got in behind on the left-hand side.
Worrying moments.
And it looked dangerous when he cut the ball back.
It certainly did. It was a great ball as well from Chiesa. Just timed it perfectly. Benarivo made the run beyond them, and he slipped it between the two players. Benarivo was actually possibly a shooting opportunity as well. It was at an angle, but decided to go for the cutback, and that allowed Rangers just to scrape the ball away. But it certainly was a chance. And also Dino Baggio just couldn't get the ball down. It fell to him about 12 yards out, and he just couldn't get it under control. So Rangers living dangerously there.
That was Baggio winning the header against Van Bronckhorst. Scrapping for it is Ian Ferguson against Juan Sebastian Veron, who's complaining to the referee about Ian Ferguson's challenge. He has the free kick though. Veron it is, over the free kick, lofted forward for Bogosian. Alberts won the header. Ferguson's lost it. Diego Fuser. Here's Veron again. The run watched closely by Van Bronckhorst. Well played and a good pass for Alberts. Can't find either Wallace or Jury. But Gordon Jury working hard. Here's Fuser, 30-year-old Italian international in this multinational Parma side. Veron's pass. Barry Ferguson holding off Benarivo. Sergio Pini caught in possession. Chiesa stopped by Barry Ferguson. That's good work again. Taking the ball beyond Balbo, but he's given it straight to Benarivo. Rangers under pressure. Here's Fuser. Van Bronckhorst in front of him. Now Thuram. That's Balbo. He was off balance as he turned and struck the shot. But this was good work by Barry Ferguson under pressure here.
I think he just got nudged over there, but it was good work by Barry Ferguson, because he had to get back actually beyond Pini, in behind Pini to deflect that there. Benarivo had made a great run forward. Barry Ferguson tracked his run.
28 minutes gone. It's 0-0 in Parma, and that's given away by Sensini to George Alberts. What a chance this is for George Alberts! Alberts scores for Rangers! 28 minutes gone! Terrible mistake by Sensini, and Parma are punished by Alberts. His 13th goal of the season. And the Rangers supporters inside the Ennio Tardini Stadium are into major celebration.
Well, it was a bad mistake with Sensini, but there was still a lot to do from Alberts. He had to control it, he had to show pace, he had to get himself in a shooting position, and then he had to fire it in. What a fantastic strike that was. Really has opened up the game. That's the away goal Rangers needed. Puts them now in front in the tie, not even gets them in level terms. Fantastic work by Alberts. Did it all on his own there. A little bit of a solo, but what a good strike it was when he was in there. A lot to do, as I said, and he finished it with real aplomb.
In from Veron, but it was too close to Antiniemi. It was ahead of Balbo and Chiesa. As we look again at the celebrations of George Alberts, has he ever scored a more important goal? Now Rod Wallace couldn't quite find the touch there. Only Cannavaro was between him and Buffon. Rangers finding holes in this Parma defence. They have to be very cautious at the other end. This is a very important phase now. They've got a goal, I suppose in a sense they might only have dreamed about, but they have to keep things tight at this stage. Keep some discipline, get through the next few minutes and play the way they've been playing. And that George Alberts goal has laid the foundations for what could be a historic result for Rangers.
Yeah, it certainly is a real breakthrough, getting that finish in there. As I said, not a chance that was created out of anything, but Alberts did brilliantly well. Rangers have been composed and they've been knocking the ball about well, and that'll only help them as well, getting a goal in front in this tie. That can only serve to make them even more comfortable.
That's given away by Lorenzo Amoruso, just the sort of error we were talking about, guarding against, in from Veron. And that was well played by Van Bronckhorst. Confusion between Hendry and Niemi before it was finally hacked clear. Rangers must keep full concentration. Cannavaro exchanging passes with Sensini. A real blunder by Sensini a couple of minutes ago. He won't want to be reminded about that. A casual moment, punished in full by George Alberts with a powerful run. He's got the pace to get away from defenders, and a perfectly placed shot away from Buffon, the goalkeeper. Had no chance of getting to it, right across him and into the corner. Now Thuram for Parma, to Veron. The atmosphere has really been lit up here in Parma. The Rangers supporters in great voice. They were very aware of the record that Parma have in European competition, especially at home. They know the size of the challenge facing Rangers, and having made a good start to the game, Rangers then get the opening goal from George Alberts. 13th for him of the season, anything but unlucky. Set-piece opportunity here for Parma. They couldn't get that beyond the first man, who was Alberts. Knocks the ball long downfield for Rod Wallace, doing his best to catch it. Does so right at the byline and wins a corner kick. Superb play against Benarivo, and the Rangers fans enjoyed that. You feel that Rangers are growing in confidence with every passing minute.
Yeah, they must be. I mean, they must have known themselves they'd played well in the game and started it very positively, and then to get that superb strike. Once again, a lovely ball from Alberts. Had Wallace chasing it. He and Jury have done an awful lot of work, and he's got the corner. If Rangers could score again before half-time, it'd be fantastic.
In from Barry Ferguson. Nobody there for Rangers. Cannavaro's header. First time from Veron. Arthur Newman's header came off Chiesa. But Newman with the composure to get the ball away. Back to Pini. And now that's a loose play from Niemi. Not the sort of distribution from the back Rangers looking for. Veron, good skill. Knocks it over the head of Van Bronckhorst. Veron still has it. Colin Hendry is there. He was being pushed surely by Balbo. And the free kick is given. Some respite for Rangers at the back.
I think it was offside, Rob. I think the flag was up. I think that Balbo was just standing at the very back. We see the linesman here. He was standing, I think, keeping position behind Colin Hendry. And I don't think it would have been a foul, but it's certainly offside.
12 minutes to go to half-time, plus a bit of stoppage time to be added. Parma 0, Rangers 1. 2-1 Rangers on aggregate. And there's a look of disbelief among some of the Parma players, stunned by that Alberts goal. They felt very confident that the job could be finished off here on home territory, having got a 1-1 draw in Glasgow 2 weeks ago. Thuram, unlikely to panic. Fuser into Bogosian, a World Cup winner with France. This is Benarivo. Barry Ferguson working hard at making things difficult for a very dangerous player, Benarivo. Rangers trying to shut down options. Thuram again for Chiesa. That looked like handball. And the free kick is given. The ball bounced awkwardly for Chiesa. Don't think he knew too much about it, but it certainly made contact with his arm.
Yeah, he did. Just before that, though, Parma had started a move in their own half in the centre with Thuram. They'd moved it about, and Rangers worked so hard, and the ball ended up back where it had started. Good work by Rangers in order to try and force them into making back passes and taking away the pressure that we're trying to mount.
One back for Rangers by Ian Ferguson. That's Rod Wallace's touch for George Alberts. Away from Bogosian. Thuram is in front of him. Slightly hesitant Alberts, and the ball was lost. Now Veron picking his way through the midfield. Chiesa, Fuser in support. Balbo in the box. He'll be joined shortly by Chiesa and Veron. Fuser still has it. This is Chiesa, blocked by Ferguson. Now Alberts. A long ball which sliced off the outside of his left foot. Gordon Jury was wanting it wide on the right. Thuram for Fusère. Tackled by Arthur Newman. Newman appealed for the throw. It's gone Parma's way, now Sensini. That's for Balbo, but Amoruso won the header and calmly flicked back the header to Niemi. 9 minutes of the regulation 45 left in the first half. And if you've just joined us, it's Rangers 1-up against Parma. George Alberts after 28 minutes. Barry Ferguson being spoken to by the referee. And Dick Advocat leaving the dugout to scream out some instructions. Veron with the free kick. Well, that's maybe a sign of things not going well for Parma, because that crossfield ball from Veron was way behind Fusère, who hangs his head.
Yeah, you want to see a bit more of that. You want to see Parma getting frustrated in terms of the way they're playing, start to be a little bit anxious as well, and maybe you know, just the fact that they have to chase the game now could be worrying for them.
Jury trying to hold the ball up, managed to hold off Thuram, but Fusère was there in support for the defender as well. Sensini didn't play at Ibrox 2 weeks ago, he was on the bench. Sartor played in that first leg. The young Italian defender that was injured. Back from another Italian, Pini, to Antiniemi. Ian Ferguson got his head to the bouncing ball. Lofted forward by Cannavaro. Colin Hendry peering into the sun to win the header. Newman trying to get a pass away to Alberts. It is a difficult surface, it's been very cold. There's been frost in the ground. Sensini trying to pick out Balbo's run. Watched all the way by Amoruso, got the ball back though to Chiesa. And Chiesa has his head in his hands, disappointed that he couldn't make more of that. Amoruso is meanwhile screaming at the assistant referee on the far side. He reckoned that ball was out of play, but Balbo whipped it back, and there was an opportunity here for Chiesa.
It looked well out of play actually when he whipped it back, but it just shows you can't take anything for granted in those sort of situations. They managed to keep it in, and Chiesa was onto it, but yeah, there's a foul on Wallace again. Sensini's had a sort of uncomfortable game, I felt, so far. He's never really come to grips with Rangers' front two running, getting in behind him. He doesn't want to get pulled into those wide areas, and when you saw his lack of pace when Alberts took him on, that's probably the reason why.
He had a head start there on Rod Wallace heading for the ball, but the pace of Wallace and the determination got him there and forced Sensini to commit the foul. So Hendry and Amoruso are in the box alongside Jury and Porini. Wallace right at the edge of the area. This is Van Bronckhorst. It's George Alberts. And I think Parma are well warned now about the threat he poses. Colin Hendry's done well into the box and cleared by Dino Baggio. And there's another unsure touch from Juan Veron. And Rangers have definitely had a very negative effect on Parma. Just a sign here or there that the Italians are rattled. Barry Ferguson's throw, looking for Jury. Wouldn't quite come down for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. George Alberts threads it through. Rod Wallace is offside. That was very nearly the perfect pass from Alberts, but the flag was up against Wallace. Long ball from Thuram, too long for Chiesa. Ian Ferguson for Barry Ferguson. And now Porini. Left by Jury. Rod Wallace's touch. This is good build-up from Rangers. Van Bronckhorst. Now George Alberts on the right foot. And tugged it wide of target. What a good build-up that was from Rangers. 4 or 5 players involved. Confident play, skillful play, and yet more encouragement.
Yeah, it was good play. Nice little combination work between Jury and Wallace again. Van Bronckhorst supporting it. Ferguson started it deep in his own half, and it just unfortunate fell to George Alberts' right foot there from that sort of distance with his left foot. We know how accurate it can be.
Barry Ferguson. Advantage being played. That's Ian Ferguson for Gordon Jury against Sensini, who again, as Gordon said a few moments ago, looks uncomfortable against the pace and the power of the Rangers front two. And it was Jury there who was again asking questions of the Argentinian.
Yeah, he was unlucky, Gordon Jury, as well. Just didn't sit nice from Sensini. Was pushing into him, and he certainly thought it was a corner the way Sensini came across and just shepherded the ball out, but the linesman didn't agree at all. But you know, Rangers are going through a decent spell here as well. They've got the goal, they're looking confident, the players are playing well for each other, they're defending pretty well. They've had a little bit of luck in the way 1 or 2 balls have bounced in the goal mouth for them from time to time. You also need that. It's always an element in any good performance, getting the breaks, and Rangers have had 1 or 2, but in the main they've performed very, very well, and you can see now the frustration coming out in Parma's performance. That's what that's all about, and they're not happy with the way they've been railroaded out of a few of the midfield challenges. The Rangers working hard, and Baggio, and we've already seen Veron reacting to it as well.
Yes, that was Dino Baggio throwing his weight around in the midfield. It looked as though it might have been a free kick for his first challenge. It certainly was for the second one. And the free kick taken quickly by Alberts to Barry Ferguson. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go in this first half. Forward from Colin Hendry, but offside against Rod Wallace. You're watching BBC Scotland pictures from Parma. It's Parma 0, Rangers 1, 2-1 on aggregate, as Rangers bid for a place in the UEFA Cup quarter-finals. It's another misplaced pass from Veron. Foul given against the challenge in Benarivo. But signs of uncertainty in Veron's play, which has got to be good for Rangers. So important, though, that the Ibrox team can negotiate the final few minutes of this first half and protect their 1-goal lead. Here's Veron through for Chiesa, trying to link up with Dino Baggio, but it's George Alberts who comes away with it. He's been a very influential figure in this first half, picking up possession and driving forward. Foul against Sergio Perini, and that's a yellow card against Perini, which means that if Rangers do make progress, he will miss the next tie. Already carrying a booking against his name, but I'm sure that's the last thing on Rangers' minds at the moment. If they can get through this tie, they won't mind who's missing the next time round. They won't, actually, but it's a bit of a soft booking to get. Veron is actually good at throwing himself down in those sort of situations, but you have to say Perini, you only had to go there and just shut the player down. You didn't have to follow through and barge him like that. Here's the free kick in from Veron, headed across by Sensini and away from Colin Hendry. Sensini again goes for it. Amoruso gets there first. Good determined play from the Rangers skipper. Gets it back from Alberts. Arthur Newman tries to cushion the ball with that header. The ball ricocheting around. Finally a free kick is given, and yet again a flare-up involving Dino Baggio. He's frustrated at the way things are going, not happy, but Parma do have a free kick right on 45 minutes. Into the box it goes. Veron. It's Fuser. Fuser continues his run forward in from Bogosian. That was Perini's header. Now Antonio Benarivo. That will do for Rangers. Struck way over the top. He was leaning back as he hit the shot. And just look at the grappling that was going on in the penalty area there as the free kick was played in. and words being had now with a cluster of players. Chiesa is involved. There was a clash with Pini. Sergio Pini was not happy at all about what was going on in the penalty area.
Yeah, he said he was elbowed in the face.
Pini's been booked.
You have to be careful. But it certainly was Chiesa, I think, nudged him out of the way with his elbow and caught Pini in the face there when they were moving for that ball in the box. But as I say, it's another sign of the frustration that's creeping in with Parma. They're letting a few of the challenges get to them now. And if Rangers can continue to be physical in this way and be aggressive, then the Italians aren't going to like it, because it's obviously not always part of their game. They wanted to just come here today and have a nice stroll, the Italians, and control the match. But now they find themselves a goal down.
Here's Gordon Jury, thinking about a shot from way out, knocked away by Sensini. This first half is almost over. Colin Hendry watchful under that long ball forward. Veron away from Pini, and Sergio Pini will be sent off here. It's a second yellow card, and high drama right at the end of the first half. A late challenge on Veron, a second booking for Pini, and Rangers are down to 10 men. This was the challenge. He was off balance. Veron was away from him. Took a couple of paces before he stumbled to the ground, Veron. It's a free kick to Parma, and Sergio Pini sensationally sent off.
I think Veron knew what he was doing. I don't think that he was caught at all, though it maybe was an unfortunate challenge for Pini to get into, so close to after being involved in a couple of incidents.
Here's the free kick, Veron. Antiniemi claiming that he couldn't see that looking into the sun. It cannoned back off his body, and that could have had serious repercussions for Rangers. Well, the half-time whistle goes amid scenes of drama, and there's the tackle again from Pini on Veron. I'm sure Ali McCoist will have something to say about that at half-time. And the other worrying news for Rangers is that Antiniemi is on his back in the area. That was his attempt at stopping the free kick. He claimed he couldn't see it, and he's obviously damaged a leg as he crouched down to knock that ball away. So as the players go off, what you can't see in your picture is that Antiniemi is still in the penalty box. He's hobbling towards the tunnel, and on the bench, Rangers have a 17-year-old goalkeeping deputy in Mark Brown. So having lost Sergio Pini, sent off right at the end of the half, what they won't want to do is change their goalkeeper.
Well, real strange moments, those finishing moments of that match. Definitely Parma were the team who were unsettled with the physical challenges, unsettled with the way the game was going. You could tell they were frustrated, things not going their way, and all of a sudden Rangers find themselves down to 10 men and a goalkeeper injured. Dick Advocaat was waiting to have a word with the referee at half-time. Everything was going so well up to then. It makes it a difficult 45 minutes in prospect. The Rangers will just have to dig in. I think once again they'll have to put a defender on and go re-establish their back four, and then just defend this 1-0 lead.
So a superb showing from Rangers in the first half in Parma. That George Albert's goal after 28 minutes, which was the icing on the cake after a superb Rangers show. But right at the end of the half, double trouble it could be for Rangers, because Sergio Pini sent off for his second yellow card, and Antiniemi, the goalkeeper, hobbled down the tunnel, and we'll have to wait and see if he is fit to emerge in the second half. Half-time in the Ennio Tardini Stadium. It's Parma 0, Rangers 1.
Thanks, lads. Yes, for 44.5 minutes, all was going wonderfully well. And Ali, for a Kilmarnock player, you were getting pretty excited, weren't you?
I was losing it a little bit. Tremendous performance.
It was.
It really was one of the best performances we've seen in a long time. I think, like anything else, Duke, I think when the Rangers were going over here, they were going to have to carry a little bit of luck, and they certainly did that with one or two chances initially, when Balbo had a great chance and Chiesa had a couple of shots in the turn. But Rangers, for me, have been superb. They've passed well, they've looked comfortable, they've created the Parma defence problems. And really, the Parma, their individuals, they're looking rattled. Veron's looking rattled, Chiesa's looking rattled. And if anything, Rangers certainly finished the stronger team in the first half. disaster there, getting Pini sent off. I'd like to see it again, because I think Veron, like Gordon said, he knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did make the most of it, but it was a mature, it was a confident performance by Rangers. Second half, one imagines, down to 10 men, it'll be much more backs to the wall, won't it?
It's definitely going to be backs to the wall. It's going to be interesting to see. I just hope that Niemi's fit.
Yes.
For the second half. I mean, 17-year-old kid Matt Brown coming on. I mean, that'd be a big occasion for him. I'm sure that he'll be sitting there with his underpants will be going like that, just now, all due respect. But I think it's been a great performance. Niemi hopefully will come out for the second half. It was going to be backs to the wall anyway. They've defended fairly well, Rangers first half, and they're going to have to defend very well the second half, because they're going to come at them.
But they're 1-0 up, and that's terrific. And we'll be back for that second 45 very shortly. But of course, the other big news of the day so far, as you may well have heard Rob saying in commentary, is that a very hastily convened press conference took place. What at the moment are certainly happier matters. Rangers 1-0 up on Parma after 45 minutes in Italy this afternoon. Back live with the second half shortly. But let's look back at some of the incidents from that enthralling first 45 minutes. Gordon Jury in from the start for the first time in about a dozen games for Rangers, and he has carried a thread all the way through, Ali, hasn't he?
He certainly has. The one thing that Jukebox will give you is 100% effort, and he gets on the end of things here. He's unlucky. If he just gets a touch on that, that's a penalty. To get his good goalkeeping and very brave goalkeeping. But if Juki just comes across, gets a touch on that, that's a penalty. But Juki will run all day for you, and it must be a nightmare to play against, because he gets in behind, he jumps up, he's got touch flicks on. He's great. He's just great to play with and a nightmare to play against.
This is the best defence in Italy, but Jury and Wallace are causing them real problems.
Working them hard, because they're on the move all the time.
Yes.
The one thing about Gordon and young Wallace is they move all the time. They're always on their toes. They get in behind, they'll come short. They're very difficult to mark and they're very difficult to play against. And of course, when you've got somebody with George Albert's vision to pass the ball, you make a run, and there's a fair chance you're going to be on the end of it. He played one ball. He played a couple of balls. He played one ball 75 yards.
Up the left-hand side,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he played another diagonal to Danny Wallace and Rod Wallace in the right-hand position. He took a great touch and he got a finish at goal. Wonderful passing. With George, that's one thing about George. He always sees things. And if you make a run for him, there's a fair chance you'll find
We'll get to his goal in a moment, but you said yourself that you have to carry luck in these situations, and Rangers did after just 5 minutes, because Balbo missed, well, one hesitates to call it a sitter, but perhaps he should have
It's a good
scored.
chance. It's a flick on, and I think Van Bronckhorst just falls asleep. I initially thought it was offside, but seeing it again, I don't think it is. You see him, he just comes in, Balbo comes in behind Van Bronckhorst on his blind side. I think Van Bronckhorst just ball watching a little bit, and you'd fancy Balbo to score 9 times out of 10 there, but he just screws it wide with his left foot. And that was a break, but you need breaks like that, Dougie. And from then on, Rangers get a wee bit of encouragement. They're not one behind where they could have been one behind, and they start to play a wee bit.
Yeah, Chiesa, who didn't play at Ibrox, is obviously a handful for any defence, but he's had a couple of chances, nothing terribly clear, but good saves in both cases, I think, from Anthony Niemi.
Yeah, Niemi's positioned himself well, and his handling's been fairly good, apart from the incident in the last couple of minutes. But Chiesa's a handful, and especially when he gets his ball in the box to his feet. He's just a touch.
By Balbo there, wasn't it?
Great flick in. But the one thing, you watch his strength. He's very strong. He leans into the defender, gets half a yard, and gets a strike at goal. That is a good save. You'd be disappointed to lose that goal, but touch there, good touch, and a strike. Anywhere else, a couple of yards either side, and the goalkeeper struggling.
But you have to keep concentration, Ali. That was Amoruso giving away possession, and look at the trouble it causes. Just one loose pass.
I think Rangers have defended very, very well, but Amoruso was just a little bit slack there, and as you say, it only takes that goes in. You're cursing your luck. But again, it was at the goalkeeper, which he handled very well.
Yeah.
But guys, as I said before the game, guys like Chiesa and Balbo, you can't give them. You've got to be on top of them all the time, because they only need one split second.
Yeah, they're a good side, Parma. Obviously, they had one example of just superb build-up, lovely one-touch football. And again, at the end, Dino Baggio, if you like, missed the chance, but Rangers covered up well and defended well. But the build-up here is
superb move.
Classy, isn't it?
This is a tremendous ball inside the full-back. But Rangers defending, Dougie, is superb. They stay with their men. OK, they get a little bit of the break there because it wouldn't come down for Baggio. But if you watched the defenders marking their forwards while Chiesa played the ball through, it was wonderful defending, because he shut off a minute, knocking it into the back stick, and they stayed with their men really, really well. And they got the little bit of the break. When the ball broke to Baggio, it wouldn't come down for him. But you need wee breaks like that, as we've said.
Good defending. And now the moment that we're looking for, and everyone at home I'm sure is looking for as well, that wonderful goal by George Albert. Horrendous mistake by Sensini, but when Alberts gets the ball, he's 40 yards out.
I know.
He
does really well
from here.
I actually didn't want him to hit him when he shows you what I know, Dougie. I didn't want him to hit it. I wanted him to take another touch there and then go. But what a finish. It really is. As you say, it's a terrible mistake from Sensini, who looked far from comfortable in that opening 45 minutes. George reads the pass, intercepts, He's 2 yards down there, knocks it by him, shows good pace and strength, because he gets hauled back there. I was wanting him to take another touch, but
Sure.
who am I to say what a left foot that is, and he rifles it
But
right
the
in
confidence to
corner.
shoot from 20 yards,
Yeah.
Al, I mean, you must surely look to go into the area and give yourself the best chance you can.
Well, you're asking the wrong man there.
Oh.
I'd be looking to get into the area. But with George's left foot, because he hit the free kick, which he didn't hit well, and he took it there and took full advantage of the mistake. I thought he was going to take another touch and take it into the box. He hit it early from 20 yards, and what a strike, sweet strike.
Fabulous goal. And it was all going wonderfully well, because Rangers were looking comfortable, Parma beginning to get a bit anxious, panicking, arguing with each other.
They look rattled, there's no doubt about it.
And then the
rattled.
Pini sending off comes, and that maybe will change the shape of the game.
Well, it's definitely going to change the shape of the game. Here we see it. The booking, I think, to be fair, that wasn't a bad foul, but he booked him for persistent fouling. That's what the referee booked him for. And here, I'm not sure he catches him, Dougie. Maybe takes an elastoplast off an old injury or something like that, I'm not sure, but I don't think he catches him.
I think significantly, but that came just minutes, less than minutes perhaps, after the argument with Chiesa in the box. So Perini's still a bit hot at that point.
He is hot, but he's unfortunate, Dougie, because the ball breaks from, it was a bit, I think it came from slack defending, and the ball breaks, and it's one of these ones he's got to go for it.
Sure.
And he's made his mind up, he's going for it. And if Veron gets a touch, he's caught by, he catches him and he's off. Because the ball, the decision was made for him because it was a difficult ball. Rangers were under pressure and he had to make the challenge.
Yeah.
And he got caught and
Has
he's
to
off.
put the foot
Down
in.
to 10 men.
Yeah, and as you say, Veron does make the most of it.
Yeah.
And then this bizarre injury to Anthony Emi just at the break, but we're still waiting to hear whether he will re-emerge for the second half. We hope so, because young Mark Brown is just 17. That's not the game you want to be flung into. But it's a strange one. I can't quite see what happens here.
No, and because I think it came off his chest. I mean, the free kick was about 25, 30 yards out, and it's a comfortable one for him. It might even be going by, and it hits him in the chest. I don't know. Somebody said, maybe in commentary said that maybe couldn't see it for the sun, but he looks to have injured a thigh muscle or a leg muscle there. But the ball, A, it looked as though it was going by, and then B, he comes in and takes it with his chest and brings it back into play, and we get the break.
Maybe caught in the ground or something strange like that.
I don't know.
Very
Interesting one.
Well, let's hope he's out for the second
Hopefully he's
half.
out for the second half and we don't have too many more of it.
No, it's got to be backs to the wall now, but the longer the game goes, the more frustrated one suspects Parma will become.
Yep. Again, first 10, 15 minutes are absolutely vital. It'll be interesting to see how he changes it. I mean, obviously he's got to change it. Important, really, really important now, more so in fact for Wallace and Jury to hold the ball up and get in behind and give the defenders and the midfield a break, because they're going to come at Rangers, there's absolutely no doubt about it. But we defended fairly well first half, and let's defend again.
Okay, well, an enthralling 45 minutes ahead, that's for sure. Rangers down to 10 men, but leading by a goal to nil against a team who haven't lost at home in Europe for 5 years, haven't lost at home to anyone for 2 years. What a result this would be for Rangers and for Scottish football. 45 minutes still to come then. Let's rejoin Gordon and Rob.
Rangers stand on the brink of one of their best ever results in European football, were they to hold out and win this match against Parma. But it wouldn't be a Scottish team playing in Europe if we didn't make things a little bit hard for ourselves. So Rangers down to 10 men for the second half. And Gordon, I know, was thinking as Parma get the second half restarted that Tony Vidmar might be brought on so that Rangers could at least have a back four. But no changes made at this stage by Dick Advocaat. Barry Ferguson, one would presume, will play a deeper role on the right-hand side to cover the absence of Pini. And immediately on the move is Veron for Parma. Gets it back from Chiesa, in looking for Balbo. Cleared by Colin Hendry, and inside the first 30 seconds, a corner to Parma.
Well, I'm very surprised there isn't a change, Rob. I must be honest with you. I thought the first thing Dick Advocaat would do here with a 1-0 lead is re-establish a back four and probably defend a little bit deeper. There's a header over there from Dino Baggio, but I thought they might just establish the back four again and take off one of your front men. There's no need to chase another goal. There's no need for Rangers to score. What's the most important thing now is that they can defend well and they can hold out. So once again, Dick Advocaat's taking a big chance. He didn't get away with it when he left it intact at Celtic Park a few weeks ago when it fell to pieces. And you know, he's taking another chance in this away leg in Europe, away in against an Italian team who we know will throw people forward, and I'm sure Crespo will be coming on pretty soon in the second half as well, just to increase the firepower.
Yeah, Crespo spent a lot of the first half loosening up, so he'll undoubtedly be involved before the second half is over. but being kept on the sidelines at the moment. Thuram with Van Bronckhorst in front of him, through for Balbo. Now it's Veron. Trying to get in behind Van Bronckhorst, it's beyond Niemi, headed back across, and it's Balbo, that's the equaliser. Balbo, who scored at Ibrox, levels the tie in Parma, less than 2 minutes of the second half gone. Rangers defence always looked in trouble against the cross from Veron and bundled over the line by Balbo.
Well, I think it's quite astonishing because there's a situation right away. The ball's knocked to the back post. That's your right back area. You would normally have a defender there. Colin Henry's having to stretch for it. Knocked back across goal. Balbo's got an easy finish. He may just have taken a chance again, Dick Abaka, on his formation, his line-up. I certainly wouldn't have done it as a coach. I would probably right away have brought in a right back, but that's in that area they've lost the goal. And if it goes wrong now, I think you're going to have to look at Dick Abaka's decision at half-time to keep his team intact in that way, because that goal certainly came in an area that could have been, in the first half, would probably have been covered.
In from Barry Ferguson, headed away by Thuram. That was Rod Wallace. Gordon Jury, foul, in fact offside I think given against Gordon Jury, and an exchange of views there between Jury and Sensini. Benarivo getting himself involved as well. So 1-1. Would you fault Colin Hendry at all on his attempts at winning the header at the far post, Gordon?
No, I think it's a difficult one because it's gone sort of beyond him, and he realises himself that there isn't any cover, and he's gone full out to try and get there, and found himself just overstretched, and the ball's knocked back across. They're obviously then a man short in the middle, and that's what results in a simple goal for Balbo. I know he had an opportunity in the first half, even with Pini on. That's a situation, but I do think that the first thing you do when you have a lead, 1-0 lead, you just shore up the defence and make sure you give nothing away. There's Barry Ferguson going in there to the right back position to defend, but that's not his natural area of the field. Here's
the goal again.
Yeah, look at that. There's Colin Henry's up the stretch. Look, knocked back across goal. He wouldn't have had to go for that. He wouldn't have expected Pini, if Pini had been on, or any full-back, Vidmar, if he'd been brought on, he would have expected him to defend the back, and Henry would have stayed in the centre to mop up anything knocked across goal.
It was good anticipation there from Balbo for the ball being knocked back across. Amoruso was static, Balbo was on the move, and it was Balbo who tucked the ball away for his second UEFA Cup goal, both against Rangers. Now Fuser, and Chiesa's shot saved by Niemi. He's disappointed with himself that he didn't get a bit more power behind it and didn't divert that further away from Niemi. He was well set up by Fuser, and he reckons he should have done better.
Yeah, he should have. He was picked out by Fuser there. Takes a first touch. It's not an easy one to hit, but he still gets his strike in. It's a good save, good handling. Niemi has obviously recovered from that knock he got before half-time. He's held it well.
Big challenge for Rangers now. That goal will have flooded new hope into all these Parma players. They will feel now that the tie is there to be won for them, although that's a slip by Thuram, and he's happy to look across and see the offside flag up against Gordon Jury, because he threw himself at the ball and missed it. As we look again, you can understand that the Italian television director can't really see enough angles of that equalising goal from Balbo. 5.5 minutes of the second half gone. Parma 1, Rangers 1. It's 2-2 on aggregate. And were the score to stay like this through 90 minutes, we would be into an extra time situation. Arthur Newman did well there against Fuser, but it's 11 against 10. It's difficult for Rangers. Difficult job is being made even harder. Good run by Benarivo, and couldn't get the ball beyond Niemi, but what a good run that was from the little Parma skipper. Very pacey.
Yeah, and it's a difficult job now for young Barry Ferguson as well. He's going to have to not only play right side of midfield as he was doing in early part, he's going to have to go and play also in the right back area at times, and cover for Benarivo making those surging runs. There's a foul, Van Bronckhorst, good break forward. I suppose if you look at now, in a lot of ways Rangers have to go and probably do have to go and score a goal now in this tie in order to go through.
A slight delay on the whistle there, but free kick given to Rangers. It was Sensini's challenge on Van Bronckhorst. Free kick quickly taken, and Alberts with the shot, but the free kick will have to come back. It was taken too quickly for Terje Hauge, the Norwegian referee. Good thinking by Van Bronckhorst, and Alberts was in some room on the left side of the box, but it's take two. Alberts is there, Jury in the box, Amoruso is over the ball as well, and Van Bronckhorst. Everyone bar Chiesa is back for Parma. There's the four-man wall between Alberts and Buffon. It's Van Bronckhorst trying to curl it beyond the wall, blocked by Balbo. Amoruso to Barry Ferguson. And Rod Wallace offside. 7.5 minutes gone in the second half. 1-1 on the afternoon, 2-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, from Rangers' point of view, I mean, if they get a goal, it means that you know, Parma would definitely require to score another two. But it looks like the lineman's signalling.
And Rangers are going to make a change, and it is going to be Tony Vidmar who'll come on, as we spoke about earlier on, as exclusively predicted by Gordon, and Rangers will now reshuffle. And I wonder if Dick Advocaat is left thinking, I wish I did this at half-time.
Absolutely. Well, I do think it's too late. I think that it's a move. If they'd done it before the goal's lost, then you get something to go and defend against. I mean, they're taking off a forward now, actually at a time when probably a goal is required. A goal is certainly required, unless they can go and get penalty kicks at the very end. But Vidmar's coming on now. They've gone to that right-back area. Just too late, in my opinion.
Gordon Jury disappointed as he heads into the dugout. He was hoping that there was a lot more involvement to come for him. He's done well so far, but nothing to do with his performance. The reason for him coming off is to allow Tony Vidmar into play and give Rangers some balance, give them the back four back. But they've already lost a goal in the second half to Abel Balbo, the Argentinian, equalising after George Alberts had given Rangers a lot of hope with the first goal after 28 minutes. Rod Wallace holding off Veron, but the second challenge successful for Sensini. This is Balbo trying to link up with Chiesa. Amoruso in the way, hammered downfield. Cannavaro has it, and now Benarivo. Fabio Cannavaro, just 25, a fixture in defence for the Italian national side, outstanding in the World Cup. 22 times he's appeared for his country. Good play from Amoruso, that's good skill. Rod Wallace is onside, getting away from Sensini, back for Newman. What a well-timed challenge that was by Lilian Thuram. Excellent defending, top quality player. Veron's pass with the outside of the right foot, nonchalant for Fuseur. Alberts charged in and missed it. And Amoruso doing some defending, good forceful play from the captain. Got himself away from Juan Veron. Very composed, very confident from Amoruso. Now Barry Ferguson. The short pass aimed for Wallace. Sensini got there first. This is Benarivo. Back for Cannavaro. Veron back deep, wanting the ball. Drifting away from Alberts and Van Bronckhorst. Loose with the pass though. Here's Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, good pace. Away from Sensini, through for Wallace. And covering in behind Thuram with the pace and the anticipation and the reading of the game to deny Wallace. Wallace looked as if he might well be in on the end of that pass.
Yeah, just a pity it wasn't the other way about, that Van Bronckhorst have gone past Thuram and then left Wallace a run against Sensini, because Sensini is certainly lacking pace, and if any Rangers players can get one-on-one with Sensini in these situations, they have a real chance. A lot of pace busting out midfield with Alberts at times, Van Bronckhorst, and also Wallace. Jury not there now, obviously, but there's a substitution being made as well. I think it's Fiore.
It's Stefano Fiore who had that excellent chance right at the end of the game at Ibrox, which produced a brilliant save from Antiniemi. He comes on for Parma. Free kick quickly taken. Fuseur. Good challenge by Arthur Newman as Rangers now push out. Sensini's header gets it back from Thuram. Here's Veron. Chiesa, Dino Baggio. Covering is Amoruso. And back to Niemi, who, as you see, is wearing a heavy strapping on his left leg, having injured himself right at the end of the first half and making a very strange save from a Veron free kick after Pini had been sent off. He damaged his leg in the process, hobbled off, and Rangers desperate to keep him on the park with already reduced to 10 men. Again, superb play from Thuram, got there before Alberts. Fuser to Chiesa. Here's Fiore. Now Veron, threaded through, looking for Dino Baggio's burst into the box. But it was read well by Niemi, quickly off his line to deny Baggio a scoring opportunity.
Nice play. Rangers have obviously dropped that little bit deeper at times now, which is only natural when you're down to 10 men. You have to play it. As I said, just a pity at the moment that they're not able to just sit and defend a 1-0 lead and really frustrate Parma, but because Parma are back in the game now and they're playing with a little bit more confidence than they were. They'd lost that sort of rattled look that they had at the end of the first half.
Chiesa's pass aimed at Fuser, well dealt with by Arthur Newman. He was the Dutch left-back at the World Cup in France, and an impressive signing for Rangers. Vidmar in trouble, and a saving tackle by Colin Hendry. That could have been a very serious lapse by the substitute Tony Vidmar, and Colin Hendry to the rescue.
Yeah, he should have done better there. Vidmar, he should have got the ball away up wide to Ferguson, who was in front of him. It was a great saving challenge from Colin Hendry.
Here's the corner kick. In from Veron, Antiniemi underneath it, juggled it slightly, but Abel Balbo wasn't able to do anything with it. Benarivo had a fresh air shot at that one, but channeled it back at the second attempt to Buffon, the 20-year-old goalkeeper. There's Dick Advocat, animated as ever in the dugout, having withdrawn Gordon Jury and put on Tony Vidmar. 1-1. Ian Ferguson challenging in that aerial tussle with Dino Baggio. Time here for Benarivo. In fact, it was Cannavaro back to Buffon. Plenty time and room now for Parma in these deep areas. Rangers allowing them to have the ball in this sort of situation. Now Thuram almost found a way through. Alberts couldn't get the pass away to Van Bronckhorst. It's won back by Newman. Left for Ian Ferguson. Now Alberts, now Van Bronckhorst. Quickly on, tried to thread that through the legs of Sensini. But again, Thuram, you can almost picture the cigar that he's smoking at times. Lilian Thuram looks so untroubled. Barry Ferguson with Vidmar in support. Benarivo slipped. That allowed Vidmar to get away from him. Across comes Cannavaro. And it's skipper Benarivo who comes away with it. And Tony Vidmar will struggle to get back for pace. Threw himself at the ball. That leaves Parma up on numbers. A foul by Van Bronckhorst. And he will be shown a yellow card for the tackle from behind on Abel Balbo. Yellow card for Van Bronckhorst, who missed the first leg of this tie through suspension. That was the first suspension he's ever had in his football career, would you believe? And booked here as he sensed the danger of Balbo sprinting through the middle.
Yeah, he did. I think it all came because Tony Vidmar got himself too far forward in that situation. He's got to sit in there. He's got to, as I said, keep the back four intact. He's got to, if he comes and supports things on the far side, he's got to make a pass, just keep the ball in front. Even if he just knocks it up the wing for Wallace to go and chase it, even Barry Ferguson doesn't want to be caught out of position. We see that the disarray that causes as soon as one of your back four's out of position when you're playing with only 10 men anyway.
That's the Rangers wall, and Antiniemi up on his toes for Veron's free kick. Charged down by the wall. I think it was Barry Ferguson who made contact. Now Thuram, straight at Giovanni van Bronckhorst. The reverse pass leaving a bit to be desired. It's Veron again. Here's Fiore. The pass behind Dino Baggio. Counter-attacking opportunity for Alberts. And cut out by Benarivo. Chiesa against Vidmar. Enrico Chiesa again. Ian Ferguson looked at him in a half Nelson there, I think. Free kick given against him. Dino Baggio heading for the penalty box to support Abel Balbo. Fuser just at the edge. Sensini. Cannavaro is up as well. And Juan Verón, a menacing figure just outside the box. In from Chiesa. Albert's header. Shooting opportunity for Fiore. And Fiore scores for Parma. 18 minutes into the second half, he'd all the time he wanted there to firstly control the ball, and then lash the right foot shot where Antiniemi couldn't get to it. And the match now slipping away from Rangers. Parma 2-1 up.
Marvellous strike, you have to say. Looked like a decent header at first from Alberts, but there was nobody there, and he begs the first man to go to it. Turns his back on it though as the shot comes in, and it's a good hit. See there, Ian Ferguson comes to him, it doesn't close him down. Keeper's no chance, doesn't even move for it. Severe blow to Rangers at a stage when they're doing reasonably well.
That's a good ball from Arthur Newman. Rod Wallace though offside. Flag up against him. And Fiore, who was denied in the first match at Ibrox when he came on as a sub by Antiniemi, there had his revenge on the goalkeeper. The shot struck firmly and with the outside of the right foot, and it was well away from Niemi into the corner.
Rangers have to be more positive now. There's nothing else they can do except go for it. They've got to score. A goal does put them through as well. They've got consolation knowing that if they score the next game, this tie, then the next goal, then that's them back in the lead over the tie, so they have to go for it.
Here's the captain, Amoruso. Cannavaro at a couple of yards of a start on Rod Wallace. Benarivo. Abel Balbo. Veron, Van Bronckhorst trying to get there. A chase for Thuram. Inviting Fuser to make the run in the field. Now Fiore, the scorer of the second Parma goal, and Balbo, the scorer of the first. Balbo making the run, matched by Amoruso, who lets it run for the goal kick. And there, a broad smile on the face of Stefano Fiore and Juan Verón behind him, and the Parma bench getting involved as well. A goal which makes a great deal of difference to this UEFA Cup third-round tie.
Yeah, it was a superb strike. Edge of the box, Rangers not quite getting out quick enough. Once they cleared the danger, the initial danger from the free kick, but say Niemi must have come past Ian Ferguson, just wrong side of Ferguson there, and he was totally unsided as it flew in the net. But you know, Rangers, they might be thinking now maybe about taking off a midfield player and putting on an extra forward and trying to get something from the game. I know they've got plenty of time left to score, Rangers. You might want to leave it a little while, but you know, it's very important now. They obviously get the next goal in this game and take the tie back in their favour.
This match is now just turned round, Gordon, and if you're looking for a turning point, it has to be the sending off of Sergio Pini, just when things seem to be going smoothly.
Yeah, no question of that. No, Pini is probably unfortunate to a certain extent, but it might have been a reckless challenge to make when you've already been booked and you're involved in a little incident just minutes before. The referee takes all these things into account when he looks at how he approaches what he's going to give in terms of the decision that he makes, and that's what happened. Pini another yellow card out of it, and it certainly has caused Rangers problems, because they were doing very, very well up to that point. You've got to say that they had definitely well the upper hand in the game.
Parma 2, Rangers 1. It's 3-2 on aggregate. It's worth bearing in mind, as we've said, that if Rangers do score another goal and it's 2-2, Rangers would go through on away goals. So there is still hope. Rod Wallace putting pressure on Sensini, who's looked a possible weak link for Parma all through the match. But Rod Wallace now badly in need of support if Rangers are to get what could be an all-important second goal. Fusar to Fiore. Cannavaro and Veron. The pass for Chiesa. A handball used by Lorenzo Amoruso. He was beaten by the bounce. He used his hand to punch away the ball from Chiesa. It's a penalty kick with 22.5 minutes of the second half gone. A moment of misery here for Rangers captain Lorenzo Amoruso. He'd misjudged it. It was dropping for Chiesa, but surely the hand was rash.
Moment of stupidity, in my opinion. I mean, score at 2-1 to do that. I mean, he's chasing the ball. Chiesa isn't in a scoring chance. He should really have just left it.
Here's Chiesa. And that must surely be the moment this UEFA Cup tie is lost for Rangers. There was a way back for them, but it seems not now. Niemi beaten. An act of folly from Lorenzo Amoruso. He handled the ball. Penalty kick tucked away by Chiesa. 3-1 Parma.
Yeah, any hope Rangers had has totally gone now. 10 men, 3-1 down. They've no chance of getting back in this match now, and they really just have to make sure it doesn't turn into an embarrassing one. And it shouldn't have been, because everything going really well. But I can't believe Amoruso's done that at the stage of the game where the Rangers aren't quite out of it yet. I mean, it's total folly to handball. I mean, it's not as if it really is an awful lot of pressure from that. It was a fantastic ball, you have to say, from Veroni. He picked out the runner, Chiesa. That's fine, okay, Chiesa. Amoruso's not going to get there. But, you know, it's still got Chiesa's got loads to do. He's wide of the goal. Amoruso just is still goal side of him. Crazy decision to make, to handball it. Gives Parma an opportunity, a penalty kick. It's just stupid stuff. I can't believe it.
And the Parma fans are turning up the volume. Meanwhile, they now see their side making progress into the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup. Rangers in the first half got themselves into such a strong position. 1 up, playing a lot of good football, a lot of control, looking defensively pretty solid as well. But after the sending off right at the end of the first half of Sergio Pini, it's all gone horribly wrong for them. And 3 goals in the second half already for Parma. Here's Alberts. And back from Sensini. De Buffon, a diving header, getting in the way of the pass which is aimed at Rod Wallace. Balbo, Fiore, and now Chiesa have all scored for the side currently joint second in Serie A. A long ball from Thuram. Amoruso, back for Niemi. Hammered away, out of play on the half volley by the goalkeeper. And one wonders at the moment what will be going through the head of Lorenzo Amoruso as Rangers prepare to make a second switch. It has to be a positive move, nothing else to do at this stage.
Yeah, you wonder what's through the minds of all the Rangers supporters who paid good money to come and watch it as well, and see their captain do something rash like that.
Thuram off Amoruso, corner kick.
And he played reasonably well up to that point, Amoruso as well, you have to say. I mean, nothing wrong with his performance, nothing wrong with the performance of Rangers in general, but that's just put the game totally beyond them. I mean, they will make a substitution now. I think Amato.
One would imagine it'd be Amato coming
Amato
on, yeah.
Come on, but you know, as I say, the game is it would take a miracle now for them to come back into it.
Corner kick from Veron, cleared by Vidmar, chased by Van Bronckhorst. couldn't keep it in. Quickly from Fiore to Benarivo. Now Fuser. Chiesa. Fuser again. That almost came off for Parma. Threatening to add to the 3 goals they've scored already. It will be Gabriel Amato who will come on in a moment for Rangers. Last throw of the dice from Dick Advocat. But he, surely in his heart of hearts, must think that this UEFA Cup tie is gone. Thuram. It's Veron. Crespo will come on for Parma as well, which is a rather worrying thought for Rangers. Colin Hendry doing well against Balbo. Back for Niemi. Completes the clearance. Stefano Fiore again. Benarivo making a run. Threatening Vidmar. Vidmar won the header well, and he was caught late by Benarivo. Free kick given against him. There's Hernan Crespo. And Gabriel Amato. And it's Rod Wallace who's coming off, so it's striker for striker.
Yeah, Wallace is obviously tiring. Maybe Dick Advocat's thinking ahead to the next game, and rather than have him run his legs off out there, he's had to do an awful lot of work on his own since Gordon Jury was substituted. Gives Amato a run out, and Crespo didn't go on there in that exchange of substitutions. But
I don't think Chiesa wanted to come off.
No, problem getting him off, but we know Crespo can be a real danger as well. But say it doesn't really matter at this stage in terms of what Parma do. It's all about if Rangers can achieve anything, if they can score a goal, get themselves. If they could get back to 3-2, it'd give them a real lift again. But it's a very, very tall order at this stage to come back from 3-1 down away from home in Europe.
Vidmar and Barry Ferguson combining on the right-hand side. Now Ian Ferguson to Alberts. Back from Van Bronckhorst. And that was good work by Dino Baggio. Nipped the ball off the toes of Alberts. Here's Baggio again. Strong player. Too strong there, though. Holding off Van Bronckhorst with his use of his elbow. Free kick given against him. And now the substitution can be made. And it is Enrico Chiesa coming off. The scorer of the 3rd Parma goal from the penalty spot, his 7th goal of the season. And a straight swap with Hernan Crespo coming on. He's scored 10 in his last 12 games, so I think we can safely say he's on form. And it's now Crespo and Balbo up front. That's the combination that Parma opened up with at Ibrox a fortnight ago. Newman going for the return pass from Alberts, but he was checked out of it. Free kick. And there's a spectacular way to get back on your feet. Rather him than me. Amoruso with the free kick for Alberts. Thuram is there.
Rangers could only bounce back the way that Arthur Newman did there.
I knew you were thinking about something there. Here's Crespo. He's undoubtedly got pace, we know all about that. That's well played though by Vidmar. Throw in given. And we've played half an hour in the second half. It's Parma 3, Rangers 1. Rangers having led 1-0 at half-time. Sergio Porini sent off. Rangers down to 10 men. It's 4-2 on aggregate. And to say that Rangers have a mountain to climb doesn't quite cover it. Fiore to Cannavaro. That's Benarivo. Parma happy to keep possession, push the ball around, wait their moment to try to open up the Rangers' defence again. Veron. Good change of direction, good control of the ball as well. Looking for the return pass. Ian Ferguson made an important challenge. Amoruso has it. Well, Ian Ferguson didn't want it back. And now Fiore. Veron ahead of Crespo. Cleared by Newman. Amato couldn't get there. Fuser with Arthur Newman diving in to win the ball. Amato, time to turn. And only he can possibly explain what he was attempting there.
I think he was definitely shooting, but bit of a strange one, wasn't it, when it was actually a decent break on, because the two Parma players have been taken out on the right-hand side, left there, their right, Rangers left, with a good challenge by Newman. Albert's turns, plays it in, and then made a good follow-on run. I don't know what Amata thought he was doing there.
That's a good header from Vidmar, back for Niemi. And I think a lot of Rangers supporters will wonder what might well have ensued in this match had Vidmar been brought on and Rangers kept a back four right at the start of the second half, Gordon.
Yeah, it could have changed it, we don't know. I mean, I'm only just thinking that what I would have done at the time, and what would be my policy, would be to hold what you have, really, rather than pursue anything else. But you have to say, all in all, it's been an excellent performance from Rangers' point of view. Just, you know, they're now struggling with the 10 men, but in general, they played really well. And you have to say, Dick Amaka's tactics, the initial part of the game, were totally correct. Set up the team correctly, the tactics correctly, 1-0 lead, and Pini's ordering off, certainly a turning point.
You certainly can't fault Dick Advocat for not being positive. Very ambitious man, and he felt, obviously at half-time, that he could still go with the same sort of attacking lineup that he had at the start of the match, despite the loss of Sergio Pini. And there's a man who's got some hard thinking to do, Lorenzo Amoruso, having given away a needless penalty, which has given Parma an important cushion. 3-1, they lead, 4-2 on aggregate. Thuram in possession. That's Henry. Amoruso given away, too strong with the pass for Van Bronckhorst. Now Vidmar, nothing much up ahead of him, so turns it back to Barry Ferguson. Rangers trying to keep their heads up. They must feel deflated at what's happened in this dramatic second half.
Yeah, they must be deflated. I mean, the third goal was the one that kills them, a penalty kick. I mean, if you're sitting now, you'd see, I think the Parma would still be a bit anxious if it was 2-1, knowing that, you know, they'll lose the next goal, another goal, and Rangers actually go through. And I think, you know, the third goal is definitely the one that's killed the game, and it's allowed them, I would say, the luxury of being able to just knock the ball about, passing it, keeping possession, looking to create their openings rather than trying to force their openings.
Rangers will make a third switch shortly. Charlie Miller is about to come on for them with just 11 minutes of the regulation, 90 to go. That's Balbo linking with Fiore. Benarivo's made a good run. Vidmar heads across to cover. Balbo again. Keeps the ball well. Now Fuzer lining up the shot. Took a deflection. And a corner kick. Rangers want to get Charlie Miller into the action. And it will be Barry Ferguson who's coming off. But still to get the attention of the referee so the change can be made. And the Parma fans are in good voice as well, they might be. The Rangers fans deeply disappointed. In from Veron, punched away by Antiniemi. Crespo wasn't far away from getting a near post touch, which might well have diverted that into the Rangers net. Dino Baggio, Fuzer, and the players who looked so rattled at times in this match earlier on, now looking very composed and confident and happy with this comfortable 3-1 scoreline. Offside there, and that will allow Rangers to make the change.
I think we should judge the players on their first half performance here tonight. Rangers really, I thought Barry Ferguson was excellent, and he's also a player needing a rest now, the amount of work he's done. Dick Avakas shakes his hand. Charlie Miller gets an opportunity of a tryout. Won't change an awful lot as far as Rangers are concerned, but it gives Charlie Miller a taste of European football this year.
9 minutes plus stoppage time left in this match. Parma 3-1 up. In a game that Rangers had a good hold of for the first 45 minutes. And it's all turned against them in the second half, and the Rangers supporters, 3,000 of them, who were in such good voice and such good heart in the first half, have now fallen silent. And the chants are coming from the opposite end of the ground, from the Parma support. Their excellent European record is maintained. Newman's throw for Alberts. Van Bronckhorst. George Alberts gets it back. And a free kick. Looking for a free kick right at the edge of the area. That seemed like a foul, not given. Newman's pass. Van Bronckhorst can't make much of it. Counter-attack possibilities for Parma. And George Alberts couldn't believe it as he looked up at the referee, waiting for a free kick to be given at the edge of the area. No joy. Benarivo making a run right to the edge of the box. Balbo trying to link up with Crespo. Rangers struggling to get the ball clear. Van Bronckhorst and Newman, the two Dutchmen. And now Niemi. Alberts, the pass out from the back, too strong. Couldn't get his head to it. He's disappointed, but this was the clash. It was Fuser right at the edge of the area, right on the borderline, and the referee saw no infringement there.
Well, the strange thing, if there was an infringement, surely George Alberts handling the ball, falling on it and taking it with his hands was a foul, but I thought he was knocked over on the edge of the box.
Ian Ferguson's quickly taken. Free kick, chased by Amato, hammered away by Buffon, chested down by Colin Hendry. The clock ticking towards full time. That pass almost intercepted by Dino Baggio. Fuser and Thuram. And not too often you see a lapse like that from Lilian Thuram. But it's at a stage of the game where it doesn't matter too much for Parma. Charlie Miller on the ball. Now Ian Ferguson. 6.5 minutes plus stoppage time are left. There's Vidmar. Miller away from Veron. Ian Ferguson. A long chase for Tony Vidmar. And he can't catch it.
Yeah, it was a good run though, but it was a long chase. I think that now substitution being made now. I think they're going to take off Fuser.
It's Roberto Musi who'll come on, who's a very experienced defender.
Yeah, normally plays in that wing-back position. Since Fuser came, his opportunities have been limited, Musi, but he's an international player in the right wing-back position.
Sensini to Cannavaro. No great urgency for Parma at this stage. They'll feel the match has won. Another goal would be nice for them, but 3-1 will do, having looked to be really struggling in the first half. That's Alberto Malassani, the coach in his first season with Parma, having left Fiorentina during the summer. Very highly regarded, Malassani, and certainly got a strong squad at his disposal. Joint second in Serie A in the quarter-finals of the Italian Cup, and heading now for the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup. And Parma will keep their status as one of the favourites to win the UEFA Cup, which they won in '95. Cup Winners' Cup winners in '93. Really has been a meteoric rise for this team. Back from Cannavaro. The return pass from Buffon.
They've got a good side, Parma, but in the evidence of the first half, then they're going to have to step it up from that, because certainly Rangers were more than a match for them in that first 45 minutes with 11 players.
Thuram's pass, too strong for Musi. He wanted it played to his feet. It was played beyond him.
I think both teams are more or less playing out time now, Rob. I think Parma aren't really that content to throw people forward to score another goal. They're quite happy just to keep possession, keep the ball from Rangers, and Rangers themselves, I think, that just try not to lose any more goals.
Vidmar. A wild ball across the pitch, picked up by Amoruso. They have to be careful here. Musi has it. Amoruso trying to get back. Makes up for his error. After he was guilty of casual play. And Roberto Musi was almost in there. Now Rangers on the counter. Ian Ferguson for Arthur Newman. Van Bronckhorst and Amato are up. Here is Van Bronckhorst. Now Newman. Early ball into the middle. And a good try from Charlie Miller. Spectacular effort it was from outside the area.
It would have been
if that had been on target, I don't think Gianluigi Buffon would have been able to keep it out.
No, it would have been an absolutely superb goal because it was a great move as well. Started deep in their own half. Arthur Newman, Alberts all involved. Van Bronckhorst coming into play. Newman following up again, delivering the ball. And Charlie Miller, who's done well since he came on. Some nice touches, some nice runs. Decided to have the first time volley and wasn't far off target. The keeper was struggling across his goals there.
2.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go in the Ennio Tardini Stadium. A dramatic match this has been. Lots of talking points and ultimately deep disappointment for Rangers, having got themselves into a winning position. It's all gone away from them. Alberts to Miller. Straight at Musi with the pass. Dino Baggio to Juan Verón. Back to his fellow Argentinian Sensini. Also comfortable now for the back three of Parma, having been most uncomfortable in the first half. Rangers worked very hard, played a lot of good football, created chances. George Alberts took one of them superbly. And that dramatic minute before the half-time whistle changed everything. Here's Newman. He's been a five-star performer for Rangers. George Alberts, Newman's coming up in support. Alberts holding the ball up, trying to get more players forward. That's for Vidmar. The header for Charlie Miller. On goes Vidmar, beyond Benarivo. And a ball across goal into the arms of Buffon. Amato was wanting that turn a bit further back.
It was a good move again from Rangers, although definitely Parma have dropped a gear, there's no doubt about that. They're just playing out time, as I mentioned before. Rangers did well to keep possession, nice change of play, good little 1-2 involving Vidmar. Charlie Miller again involved. Vidmar trying to fire across goal, I think. I don't know if he was going for the shot as such, but puts it into Buffon's hands. I said it's a difficult minutes for Rangers because I said they're just really playing out time here. They're still working hard, they're trying to just keep possession, get a hold of the ball, but they'll know themselves, the players will know, and have known for quite some time. I think possibly when the third goal went in, that would be the moment they know they'd no chance of going through.
Just 15 seconds of the regulation, 90 minutes left. Stoppage time to be added. Here's Verón. The pass was behind Balbo, which allowed Rangers to clear. Charlie Miller. It's a good one through the middle. Ultimately overrun it. It's been an encouraging little performance from Miller, who's sadly booked for that challenge. But he has injected something into the game for Rangers.
Yeah, I think he was frustrated. It was a foul, possibly even a bookable one. He's gone in there into the back of it. The heel,
Fiore.
just Fiore. Yeah, but Dick Abacate wasn't happy about the booking. I don't know why they let it. It shouldn't make that much difference at this stage. But Charlie Miller, as I say, has done pretty well since he's gone on there. He must be quite pleased with his time on the ball and the touches he's had and the good little dribbles he's had.
We've played now nearly a minute of stoppage time. The 3-1 scoreline means 4-2 overall. And Parma go into the draw for the UEFA Cup quarter-finals. The Rangers supporters, meanwhile, have rediscovered their voices, giving their side a lot of vocal backing in these closing stages. They certainly deserve it. Ball kept in by Veron under pressure from Ferguson. Ian Ferguson did well. Now Newman. That's for Amato. Couldn't do much with it. He was effective when he came on in the first leg, Gabriel Amato at Ibrox. Put a lot of pressure on particularly Thuram. But not here. Foul by Alberts on Baggio. And the referee already having a good look at his watch. And as far as both these teams are concerned, the whistle can go, which it does, full time. And Parma have knocked Rangers out of the UEFA Cup. Quite incredible match. This was always going to be a difficult job, but it was one Rangers got stuck into in the first half, played with a lot of style, took the lead through George Alberts. And then right on half-time, it all went horribly wrong when Sergio Pini was sent off for his second bookable offence. Rangers didn't make any tactical switches, didn't make any substitutions right at the start of the second half. And Parma had equalised inside 2 minutes after the restart. Balbo scored. Then Stefano Fiore, the substitute, scored from the edge of the area. And the Parma win was rounded off by a penalty strike from Chiesa after a handball by Lorenzo Amoruso, which only he, I suppose, can give a suitable explanation for. It was bizarre, it was an act of folly, and it allowed Chiesa to score the goal, which really made this result safe for Parma. So Gordon, superb show from Rangers in the first half, but ultimately, disappointment.
Yeah, big disappointment, especially after the first 45 minutes where they played really well. They had that lead. The ordering off made a difference, there's no doubt about that, Pini going off. I thought Dick Advocaat got it wrong, in my opinion. Maybe he'll argue it differently, but I think he should have re-established his back four, had Vidmar on, and then defended the lead. At least it would have kept Parma in an anxious state. They got the goal, I think, because of the lack of a player on that right-hand side at that stage. And once they were back in the game, Parma, you could see a different side of them. In the end up, Rangers beat it convincingly, but the third goal, the penalty, was a ridiculous one to give away. It made Rangers couldn't keep within with a chance even towards the end of the game. That's the biggest disappointment from my point of view, but I did think it was an excellent performance.
Rangers' unbeaten run in Europe comes to an end. 3-1 in Parma, 4-2. Rangers are out.
Thanks, Rob. Yes, what an anticlimax that second half was. And ironic, Ali, that playing in Italy, it was two Italians who were at the centre of it for Rangers, Pini and then Amoruso.
Definitely. I mean, the sending off changed the game. There's no doubt about it, because Rangers lost at a disastrous start to the second half, losing the goal inside the first couple of minutes, and Gordon hit the nail on the head. It came in the right back position. It's easy with hindsight, but I think looking back, Vidmar should have come on at half-time. I totally agree with him in that respect. But it was disappointing. As I said, Barini gets sent off. It changed the whole face of the game. The game just completely changed. Rangers were under a lot of pressure from being in a comfortable position. And the second goal was a good strike. I thought we could have closed it down a little bit quicker. Good strike. Third goal, Lorenzo's just did a brainstorm there. I don't know what he's thinking about. But overall, I thought the lads played fairly well. I thought they could take a lot from the first half performance. I mean, went there and rattled them. Second half, up against it with the man off, defended reasonably well, but lost goals, and that was it. Yeah,
I think Dick Advocaat will take some criticism, because in a way it's reminiscent of the old Firm game. And again, when Scott Wilson was sent off, he didn't put a defender in to plug the gap at right back. Didn't do it again today, and again, arguably, cost Rangers an all-important goal.
Well, I didn't see that old Firm game, but I know what you're talking about. I think Vidmar must come on and play in the right back position, because I think he put Barry Ferguson there, and I think it's safe to say Barry's more comfortable going forward.
Sure.
I don't think defending is his strong point. He likes to go forward with the ball, and in the right back position, that's where we lost the goal.
Well, let's take a look at that goal then, Ali, because again, you could maybe criticise Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as well for not closing down the cross.
I think he should have closed down the cross quicker. It's a marvellous ball, there's no doubt about it, but he takes it away. There's not really a challenge there to close it down in the right back position. It's a great header back and a tap in. It's a lovely ball from Veron. I think Van Bronckhorst could have closed it down quicker. That's a lovely header, and they don't come any easier than that. And as we said earlier, they did come in the right back position. I think wee Barry's just caught there. Collins, it's over Colin Henry's head. He doesn't want to go there. If he knows he's got a natural right back there, then he clears it. This is the second goal. Wonderful strike. I thought we were a little bit slow out to it. Having said that, he hits it perfectly. I think it goes through. Yeah, it goes through Fergie's legs. and I think the goalkeeper's unsighted and it flies in, but credit to him, it is a great strike. You see him closing it down, and it does go through his legs.
A bit of a slice, but I mean, it was slicing into the net.
Great strike.
And this is the moment of madness. Why on earth does he throw a hand up?
I don't know, because that it definitely effectively kills the tie. There's no doubt about that when that goes in. But I can't understand it, because it's not a real goal scoring position he's going into. And I think he just, the brainstorm, he thought, you know, he was going to get it, and then he realised he was going to miss it, and he stuck a hand up, but which only Lorenzo could explain, but it certainly killed the tie.
Yeah, so disappointing, because as we were saying at half-time, looking forward to that second half, Rangers did have Parma rattled. If they'd only been able to hold out for the usual 15-20 minutes, it could have been very interesting.
It would have been really interesting.
They never got the chance, though.
Never got the chance. It was important. The first 15 minutes of the second half was going to be vital. That's why I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go back to a rigid back four and play defenders in the back four. I think, as I said, it's not a criticism of Barry. I think Barry getting back there, he's going into an area that's alien to him and one that he doesn't feel comfortable in. And I think you're better when you're 1-0 away from home in Italy. Right? It's a tremendous first half performance, and it's a brilliant result. Now, it's easy to sit there and look back with hindsight, as I said, but if you don't lose a goal, you're through.
Sure.
And if you lose one, you've got a chance of extra time.
When you're down to 10 men, you sacrifice a front player, don't you?
I would have thought so.
You don't weaken your defence.
I would have taken one of the front lads off, or maybe even a midfielder, and put Tony Vidmar on the right back and tried to give it a bit of stability in the back four. But it didn't turn out that way. And as I say, we lost the goal in the first 2 minutes, and their tails were just up, and it's a punch.
It's another brave failure. How many have we seen over the years? But certainly the first 45 minutes, you really had a lot of hope for Rangers.
First 45 minutes, some great football from Rangers. And to go in 1-0 up against a team of Parma's qualities, it says a lot for the team. And I think Rangers' run this year in Europe, you know, you can take a lot of credit from it. Some wonderful performances. Winning in Leverkusen, you know, been 1-0 up half-time in Parma. There's been some great performances. Let's not take anything away from Rangers. But at the same time, I think the second half, with the 10 men, they were just up against it, and it was too much of a hill to climb.
Against a class outfit. I mean, Parma are rightly among the favourites to win not just the Italian Championship, the Scudetto, but the UEFA Cup itself.
We spoke about it when we were watching the second half. Ben Arrivo, he's a fantastic player. They've got class all the way through the team, and although I've mentioned the forwards, Veron, he's a real talent. You saw Fergie, that was a good tussle. I enjoyed watching that, the two of them in the middle of the park. And he's a real class player. And they've got guys that can score goals. Crespo comes off the bench. I mean, there's just an abundance of talent there. They're a good team. That's why they're favourites. And they've got full of, you know, world-class players, and they won't be far away. Yeah,
but at the same time, Rangers won this is still a new Rangers team, isn't it? They're still gelling, and one assumes they will get stronger as time goes on. But I think probably, in all fairness, still maybe a couple, maybe even 3 players away from being genuine European contenders.
Yeah, well, I think it's looking as I say, looking at the run overall, it's been a fairly successful. I think it's been a fairly successful. Not a lot of people would have fancied them to beat the Germans. They beat the Germans, had a good result at home, could have won the game at home, and you know, you shocked them, definitely rattled them. I mean, it was great to see these Parma players, you know, rattled. They weren't liking it. They definitely didn't like it going in at half time. We keep harping on about the sending half. The sending off completely changed the game.
Yes.
And from that point of view, Rangers were under pressure. But you know, you get a lot of plus points.
No doubt about it. And of course, let's remind you too, the other big story of the afternoon is that Alec Miller has parted company with Aberdeen, perhaps not entirely unexpected. By mutual consent was the admission of both Stuart Milne and Alex Miller at a press conference in Aberdeen this afternoon. And again, we mentioned it briefly at half-time, Ali, but one feels a little bit for Alec Miller, only a year in the job, and he was, I think, let down by players who really haven't been performing to the level you would expect.
Well, I don't think a year's a long time, really, in football, but managers, I think managers, when they sign contracts, they know, in this day and age, if they don't get results, they're out, and that's the way it is. I mean, the buck, no matter what happens, it is players that play, but the buck stops at the manager. And I think Alec Miller's, you know, he's fell foul of the players not doing it in the park for him. And you know, it's just, they've parted company. And I've got to be honest and say, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm shocked, because in this day and age, managers don't get given time, and it's just another stat.
Let's leave it then with Rangers. They've got another big game on Saturday, haven't they?
Big game on Saturday. It's a top-of-the-table clash. And our lads are looking forward to it. I mean, Rangers, obviously, the Ibrox are a powerful team. And I think, to be fair, they're the only team this year that's given Kilmarnock, you know, a fair beating. They beat us 3-1 down at Rugby Park. And it's probably the only game where we haven't played well, so we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Ali, thanks for being with us this afternoon, and Ali and I, of course, will be back at 10 o'clock tonight over on BBC One Scotland. Highlights of Parma against Rangers. The first half certainly well worth watching again, but sadly it's all ended in disappointment. Once again, Scotland's European interest over before Christmas. From Ali and I, bye for now.